This is Jonathan Stack from SFC Sports News. Today I have with me one of Staffordshire Stallions players, Connor Bayliss. Today he has kindly given up a bit of his time as one of the members of the officer team for the Staffordshire University Student Union, and we're just going to have a chat about American football. Welcome. How are you?
Mate. I'm good. How are you doing? You alright?
Yeah, I'm good. First off the bat, what made you get into American football to begin with?
I always get asked that question. I think it's quite weird. I've been playing rugby since I was like 10, 11 years old. I used to swim, I used to cycle, so I was a really sporty person when I was younger.
Okay.
And I came to university, and I joined the rugby team, and it was the only thing I joined. I stopped doing everything else. And I just enjoyed the contact, and then after moving campuses I stopped playing rugby and I stopped playing contact altogether. And I just got to know some members of the football team on nights out, just at the pub, even playing beer pong in the terrace sometimes. And eventually they convinced me to give it a go and said, well, you know, you've played rugby, you might as well come give this a go now. And I was like, okay, they got a point. And it eventually just took me into the give it a go sessions where I sat there and kind of went, okay, this is kind of fun, I can get used to this. Because it's exactly the same as rugby, you're just hitting people bigger than you.
Okay, so were there any other alternatives besides American football that you would have chosen? Obviously rugby being one of them, but...
Yeah, I mean, part of me did want to go back to rugby and part of me's always thought about going back. But I think I've played rugby so much now, it's just time for a change. I think I just wanted to do something different.
The impact of COVID-19 throughout sport is there for all to see. In the summer, Bucks cancelled the season, but have recently stated that there will be a 6-game season in February 2021, improvement in the current condition permitting. Are you happy that there will be some sort of season this academic year?
I think when every member on the team heard there was going to be some form of season, everyone got really excited.
Yep.
I think with everything going on, everyone's constantly on the edge of their seat, sat there like, will we get to play? Will I actually get to wear pads this year? Will I get to put on a helmet? Will I get to hit someone? I think for me personally, possibly being my last year, I was so happy hearing there may be some actual games. Because if I had to do a full year of training and then leave without having my last year of Stallions, it would be really, really sad. But I think going into next year, obviously after this lockdown, and kind of seeing what BAFRA and the government say, will just be a really good moment if we hear that we can carry the season on.
Do you think that the 2021-22 season, next season, will go ahead as normal, or will there have any interruptions like we have seen this year?
See, that's a really hard question because I don't actually know. Obviously, everyone's playing it by ear. It's kind of hard for me to say. I hope it will, and I think there'll be some form there, because if people can do other kind of sports where they're touching or they're closer, like the cross, for example, can do contact with sticks. Eventually, I think we will be there. I think February may be a bit early. We have varsity here at the university in March, so hopefully for then maybe we'll get a game against Kiel. I think we will get the season, I'd say March, April, as long as things are going the way they are, especially with the vaccine coming in.
Yeah, that's important.
So,
that's about to drop apparently.
So I think playing it by ear and playing it by hoping, I'd like to say I think late February, early March we may get somewhere.
You have been on the team for a few years now. What is it like to play for the Stallions?
Oh, that's a question. I've never felt as part of a team as I have with the Stallions. I think the weird thing is, it's everyone will say it's any sport, it's like a family, but like it really is. Like everyone's got each other's back, whether you're on or off the field. So if you've got some stuff going on in your personal life, if you let people know, even the coaches, they'll just be there for you and they'll check up on you. It's getting those messages at 11 o'clock at night, not expecting them to be from your teammates, just checking how you are. If you're not at a training session and people don't know why, you may get the question of why weren't you there, but as soon as you let them know if it's something important, they're completely understanding. You are literally together outside the game, so when venues are open or when the pubs were open, you'd go for a pint. Sunday night, NFL night, we'd all go to the terrace, we'd sit, watch games together. Sometimes it'd be 20, 30 of us, we'd take up the whole pub when we could. Obviously that's the amount you can fit in the pub now. But you just do everything together, we play games together, we sit and watch films, we chill, we go for walks, you train together, you go to the gym outside of training sessions, like you literally do everything together. It's like your group. It's your clan.
Also, what is it like to represent the university, i.e. game days and events?
I think the weirdest thing is putting on that jersey for the first time. So that first game last year, you could see everyone getting their jersey numbers, getting all excited, and then just being handed that jersey and feeling like it's got the university on, it's got your number on, and knowing that's yours now. Putting it on is a really proud moment. After a game, you sit and look at it and see it covered in mud, and you're like, well, if we lost, we lost, but I did well. If we won, hey ho, like it's just an amazing feeling. And like this year, we've just ordered our custom jerseys. It's got your name on, got your own personal number on, and you know that is yours, and no one can ever take that away from you. And that's kind of one of those things you stick on your wall when you leave university. It's like, I came to this uni, I played for this team, and no one's ever going to take that away from me. And it's that iconic moment.
Who is your favourite NFL team and why?
My favourite teams is the 49ers, only because I sat and watched my first proper Super Bowl with the guys last year. I was swaying towards the Chiefs, but I just found that everyone went for the Chiefs, and I was like, I'm going to be different, and I stuck with the 49ers. Going on from that, though, I guess I'm kind of going to stick with those and see where they go now.
Who are your favourite NFL player or players?
You're going to hate me. My favourite player is actually Mahomes. So, because like I said, it was my first Super Bowl. Watching him play was just like it was my moment with the team where I kind of bonded with them for the first time. We sat up till 3 or 4 in the morning watching games, and I was just learning over and over again. I had Desi on one side, I had my mate Connor and Hayden on the other with Terry, and it was such a weird moment. But I got into the game properly, and just seeing Mahomes play and sitting there thinking, like, he's the only reason I'd want to try QB. Like, I don't think I can ever play QB, but for that hour or two, I sat there and was like, I kind of want to give it a go, just once or twice.
What do you think of Coach Charles?
Quiet. I think he's quiet. I think that's the best way to describe Charles. I think he's really, really insightful, and I find it really hard to talk to him because I want a conversation with him because he's my head coach. I want to hear his opinion because it matters a lot to me. But I just don't know how to start a conversation with the bloke. He's just so short and he's naturally blunt. Like, I've never got a bad thing to say about him, and I don't think he's ever got a bad thing to say about anyone else. But I think I'd call him short is the worst thing because it's so hard to get a conversation out of him.
Could you see yourself coming back to the Stallions in a coaching role in a distant future?
I think if I stayed local enough, I would happily come back and coach the Stallions. I'd love to be linebacker captain, or D-line. I used to play D-line before I played linebacker, so I couldn't coach offense, but coaching defense, I could definitely do it if people would have me, and if I felt myself experienced enough, I would love to. Yeah.
Connor, thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure.
No problem. Cheers.